Hi there. Just to take note, this book review and its contents are solely the views and perspectives from the author and the book, and not my personal opinions. In addition, this video is not made to hate or judge one group of people or a particular person. With that, let's get on with the video. Hi there. Welcome back to yet another episode of Book Club. In today's episode and this week, we'll be looking at yet another award-winning book, and this time it's called When Hitler Stole the Pink Rabbit. This is an award-winning autobiographical novel, and it's worth picking up and reading. So the author for this amazing novel is Judith Kerr. Judith Kerr was a German-born British author. So she was an author and an illustrator as well, and her books sold more than 10 million copies worldwide. And she wrote one of the most acclaimed novels, which is a semi-autobiographical novel, which is the book I'm holding right now, When Hitler Stole the Pink Rabbit, which captures an owl's and children's eyes view of World War II. And it's gained many recognition worldwide, and this book was meant for older children, despite the cover page looking like it's a children's book. So now I'll be giving a summary of When Hitler Stole the Pink Rabbit. So firstly, in the book, it's a semi-autobiographical novel about a 9-year-old Jewish child called Anna. And it's about her family as well. So Anna has 4 people in her family. Anna herself, her brother, older brother, Max, her mother, who is in the story called Mama, to make it simplistic, which is all this book is about, being very simplistic about World War II. And in the story, Mama is a well-to-do housewife. And also her dad, who is called Papa, is a very famous writer in Germany. And he's a very famous critic of the Nazis' regime and Nazis' ideologies. So this story was about how this family was flying away and going away from the Nazis in Germany. And in the book, Anna had to move around quite a few times. Especially, she moved from Germany to Switzerland to France and landed up in England finally, because everywhere they went, Papa could not find a job because all of these countries were influenced by Nazis, in which the Nazis did not allow his work to be published. So after that, he ended up in England. So during the story, what makes this book special is that it's about a child's perspective of World War II in a simplistic way, which everyone can understand what people went through during the World War II. And since this is from the perspective of the child who was moving around quite a few times and knew about the status of the Nazis and what happened, this makes this book very special, in which this book is about being simplistic and easy to digest for young adults, children, and everyone, to make them understand the story, because many World War II books and World War books are very hard to understand and digest because there's so many information. But this book, though it may seem short, very simplistic, but sums up everything about World War II and how this story of Anna, as she moved around from places to places attending different schools. And when it came to power, when Nazis was gaining its power in Germany, her father was getting quite scared and was not really in the favor of Nazis taking over. So when the Nazis and Sozis are always fighting at school, so Sozis are the Nazis' opponents. So when they're always fighting at school, the parents, it was kind of chaotic that time. And when the Nazis became in power, her father, Papa, went to Switzerland and a few weeks later called for the family to come to Switzerland as well. So now continuing on, they came to Switzerland, and Anna and her brother had to learn a new German dialect in the Switzerland countryside and get used to the Switzerland countryside. But compared to Berlin, in which they lived in, they were far, far, far poorer in Switzerland because their work could not be published due to the fact that still many people were hesitating over the fact that the people in Switzerland were wondering whether they should publish it or they shouldn't publish it. And that was very frustrating to Papa. And as for Anna, even her things were taken away. The whole family's assets and things that they had were taken away, such as Anna's pink rabbit doll, which is the title of the book. And going on further in the book, Anna needs to learn many things, and the father is very frustrated over the fact that he cannot earn enough money because he's still not allowed to publish his works in Switzerland. So in pursuit of money and more things and more recognition and the chance to publish his work, he goes to France with Mama, leaving the children behind in Switzerland, in which the children, Anna and Max, were taken care by the family's friends. And though this can be seen that the father is a very well-regarded author, he is still not allowed to publish his works due to the fact that it was criticizing the Nazis and the ideologies. And next, in order to find a job, Papa moved to France with Mama, leaving the children behind, as said earlier, to work for a Jewish refugee newspaper company, an article producing magazine company called the Daily Parisian. So now, when they moved to Paris, Anna and Max had a hard time trying to settle in, and in particular Anna, because she had to get used to the French style of living and learn the language French and attend school in France and get used to the kids around there. But throughout all their journey from different countries to countries, Anna and Max were very good at adapting to different places. So when they were just as about to feel like Paris is finally a place where they can call themselves home sweet home, it wasn't. Because Papa was very frustrated in his inability to support his family because he was still struggling financially and he was unable to produce stuff and publish it that well. So then, being frustrated, he sent his work and his script to an Hungarian filmmaker in England. And few weeks later, this is the great news. The Hungarian filmmaker accepted it and produced the script and invited them to come over to England to live. And that's where they came to England and finally settled down as their home, which they could rely on for the past few next years, in which they did not move around after that. And that's when this book ended. And though this may seem like a short story, I did not expose everything that went around in the book and what happened in the book, detail by detail. So if you would like to check the book and find out some details and what happened throughout the book and her feelings, I'll leave all the links in the description below for you to check it out and places for you to read the book in detail. Alright, so now I'll be talking about the takeaway from this book. So we can see from many instances in this book and many circumstances and situations that they were very united. This family was very united. Despite their father being away so many times, the family was very close-knitted and overcome many things together. And now I'll be really revealing the concept of how the power of family can overcome anything. So there were so many situations where they were really struggling financially and they were quite distant. So despite that, look at how the family was so close-knitted and how they overcame together by being very united as one family. And that is the most important concept and takeaway from this book, is that anything, even the slightest problem, this power of family can get you to anything if you're close-knitted and united with your family. That's my takeaway. As for the striking part of this book, what makes it special and what makes it stand out from other books is that this book has a different style of writing. And to be honest, I found this book very different in terms of from other refugee books. So in many refugee books and war books, the books are a bit morbid per se, and they do not end well. But this book, it took a morbid and bad concept and very emotional concept and storyline and turned it into an inspiring one, which makes it suitable for all audiences. And though many refugee and war books have a lot of torture and killing, and they stand out to adults, this book is suitable for everyone because of the way it's written from a child's perspective of World War II, which makes it very inspiring that a child is viewing it in a simplistic way. Though there's so many bad things that happened to this family, though they were struggling financially, the girl, Anna, looked at it as a point of way to improve. And that's what this book is about, in the way that it turns bad and morbid concepts into inspiring ones, which is why this is the spotlight concept of this book. And it also was awarded some awards from the German sector, some awards which I do not know how to pronounce, but it was awarded many awards, which I'll leave all the links in the description below if you'd like to check out what awards they won and what the awards are about. Now, I'll be talking about one surprising fact and something that stands out from this book. So as we can see, the author of this book is Judith Kerr, or Judith Kerr is pronounced in Deutsch and German. So, this book was a slight aspect about her life as a refugee. Judith Kerr was also a refugee in her lifetime, and in this book, it was an autobiographical novel about a Jewish child who was moving around from places to places, adapting, escaping from the Nazis. And that also reflected her life as a person. So in this book, it has elements of Judith Kerr being a refugee and her life story inside there. Though not everything was about her life, but it did reflect a sort of aspect of her life, which is one of the most surprising things about this book, is that it is written from her life perspective as her life, but it's written as a form of a different character called Anna. And that's the really surprising thing about this book. And one quote that I'd like to share with you in her book is that she said that, "My parents are wonderful. Me and Max, though we had nothing at the start and we were very poor, we were very thankful for this adventure, as it was better compared to a normal childhood." And then when she went on to Paris, she said, "Isn't it wonderful being a refugee?" So in many concepts, refugees are believed to be people who are outsiders. But she and many refugees think that their life is over. But this girl and Judith Kerr thought that her life was not over, and being a refugee was wonderful because she got to experience so many things around the world from different countries and learning different languages. That's the fun of it, and that's what she expressed in her book. So that is one of the most key quotes that I saw from this book, which I would like you to take note of. And though many people, the stereotypes like refugees are people who are outsiders, she thought that she was an insider, and she did not give up and was happy to live her life to what she was. And that was also why she said, this can also be seen that she did not take her life for granted, though many people do take their lives for granted. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the videos, please slap that like button and subscribe as well. And turn on bell notifications so you'll know when I upload a video. And out of curiosity, if you'd like to find out more about the book and the author as well, and other books she has written, and stuff about World War II, I'll leave all the links in the description below, and feel free to check it out during your own time. And I really recommend reading this book because it's super interesting. Though it may look like a children's book cover and it may not have a lot of pages, it was very enjoyable and it teaches a lot of life lessons as well. And thank you so much for watching this video and subscribing to me and supporting me since the start. With that, see you next week for another video.